A Cook County judge on Wednesday excoriated a former Chicago police detective widely accused of misconduct, calling out his bald-faced lies under oath at a hearing this fall when he denied remembering anything substantial about a decades-old murder case. Judge James Abish then threw out the confessions of two men who have been in custody for about 20 years, saying prosecutors did not credibly rebut their allegations that retired Detective Reynaldo Guevara beat them into confessing to the brutal 1998 double murder. Prosecutors could appeal Abish's decision, but in the meantime, attorneys for the two, Gabriel Solach and Arturo Reyes, have asked the judge to toss their convictions altogether and grant them a new trial. In his ruling, Abish said only Guevara could have refuted the allegations against him, and he had no choice but to throw out the confessions since he found Guevara's testimony was untrustworthy. Guevara has now eliminated the possibility of being considered a credible witness in any proceeding, Abish said. It's a troubling day. In an attempt to prove that both men had confessed voluntarily, prosecutors called Guevara to the witness stand in October and granted him immunity from prosecution for everything but perjury in exchange for his testimony. Guevara repeatedly said he did not remember anything about the case and apparently refused to examine documents that prosecutors offered him to refresh his memory. Only when pressed for a direct answer did he quietly deny putting his hands on either of the men. He showed what he was made of, Abish said Wednesday. He's a shell of what we would expect, and quite frankly, what I've come to know from the police detectives that have come to this court. Given Guevara's grant of immunity, Abish said he had no real reason to be so evasive. He tried to just weasel and wiggle himself out of a situation he wasn't even in, Abish said. After the hearing, attorney Karen Daniel, who represents Solach, said she was confident the judge would ultimately grant both men a new trial. I think he would have no alternative, she said. As a matter of law, if a coerced confession was used at trial, you always have to grant a new trial. Robert Foley, a spokesman for the state's attorney's office, said prosecutors would review whether to continue pursuing the case if Abish grants a retrial. Prosecutors on Wednesday told the judge they agreed that Guevara's testimony in October was not credible but said the judge should instead consider Guevara's statements years ago under oath as evidence that Solach and Reyes confessed voluntarily. Abish pushed back, saying in light of Guevara's muddled October testimony, I can't give an ounce of credibility to something he said 20 years ago. Andrew Vail, an attorney who represents Reyes, said he hopes prosecutors would take a serious look at prosecuting Guevara for perjury. Foley declined to comment on if the office would consider such a move. Guevara's attorney voiced strong suspicions this summer about prosecutors' motives, saying Guevara had reason to fear they were setting a perjury trap, forcing his testimony only in order to accuse him of lying on the stand, a crime that would not be covered by the grant of immunity. In recent years, Guevara has repeatedly asserted his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination when questioned about the allegations, including at a 2013 hearing in the Solach and Reyes case.